Good morning, and in the words of EPF, what's up, YouTube? I'm Clinton, host of Oval Window Racing, and you can see we're back here in the garage. And if you guys don't know who Sheng is, I'll link him down below. He's a fisherman, fishes on YouTube, and it's kind of unique. He's kind of off the wall, a different type of fisherman. He calls himself a life lister. I've never really heard this term before until I started watching him on YouTube. This guy that goes around and fishes, and his object of fishing is not trying to catch the biggest fish or as many fish as he can. He's into catching different types of fish. I think he's up to like 250 some, maybe 58 different species of fish that he's caught since he's been doing the life listing, and it's very interesting. And it's probably the only guy I know that gets real excited out of catching a minnow, especially if it's a minnow he's never caught before. But anyways, back to what we were doing here. As you can see, we're back in the garage, and I just so happen to have my intake manifolds here. And I know I've made a few videos here on making stuff, you know, me making my own stuff, but what I got to do here, and I explained before earlier that I want to make these ends bigger. So see if we can adjust that a little better. So in order to do that, I have to weld. And yeah, I've got a welder. Like I've mentioned before, it's probably my most expensive tool I got here in the garage, but that only welds steel. It is capable of welding aluminum if I went and bought the spool gun. And this here is all aluminum. And I just can't do aluminum, so this is something I'm going to job out. And my one friend I had jobbed it out to was super busy, so I had to pick him up because he was unable to weld them, cut and weld and modify them until sometime in March, he said. And as you know, we're getting really close to spring. We are reaching the end of February here, and so I don't know if I should call this video Time for Winter 8 or if it should say it's almost springtime. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get these welded, modified, and the guy that looked at them, who's a friend of a friend, you know, there's always someone that knows someone. He said he can do them, but he doesn't want to do any cutting or measuring. He wants it all kind of cut and measured and ready to go. He doesn't want to take the responsibility of possibly ruining these things, so he's gonna leave responsibility on me. After all, they are mine. And these end castings are made by CB Performance or sold by CB Performance, and they are kind of quite costly. So let's cross our fingers, wish me luck, and let's get on to doing this. Yeah, there we go. Time to clean them up and figure out what I'm going to do with these. Alright, got one done. Kind of got this wedged on here a little bit. After it's all welded, I am going to have to go and grind that all out. I've got some carbide bits I can do that with. Basically just use the grinder to grind it down to where I needed it. Hopefully the welder guys, they'll probably laugh, but hopefully he's good with it. I know it's kind of crude, but hey, you gotta work with what you got. Did you look at that, guys? Finally got them back. Got the intake manifolds. You can see where we got the welding done on them. And you look on the inside here, I still got a little work to do. I got to grind that all out and blend it in. But yeah, they look good. I have, like I said, I'm unable to weld aluminum at this time. Maybe someday I will spring for a TIG welder. But just to show you the difference here, I got a stock casting. And you can see, show you a difference here. Definitely a lot bigger. And we put them up this way. That's the difference in the opening. It's a fancy dancy measuring device. 2-inch. This one is 1 3/4 inches. This one's 2. But yep, first step is going to be to actually trial fit them on the engine and make sure that the tubes line up here with the other T-section. And then it'll be grinding, and then I'm going to probably do a little video on how I like to make the gaskets for these buggers. I'll show you here. This here is a factory gasket, and as you can see, the holes do not line up. Different shape. And this is the 10 crush style. I'll be running like a paper gasket, and I'll show you how I cut them out. Yeah, but yeah, let's go see how they fit. All right, taking a look here. Got some place where we can light things up. It looks pretty good. Gonna rock it a little bit, but looks like it lines up pretty good here. I'm noticing that this kind of does hit my shroud. I may do a little finessing right there too, just to give a little clearance, make sure it seats nicely. And come over to this side. And this one's underneath everything. This one here looks like it's going to line up pretty nice too. Like I showed earlier, I'll be using this this rubber boot or grommet or connector, and you know, sitting at night thinking this is pretty firm. So I'm not sure, you know, how much I actually going to need it to give a little bit. But I think I've seen some of these where they are bubbled up in the center, kind of give them a little bit of a flexing. I may look into getting some of those. I'll run those first, see how everything goes. But as the engine expands, so will this a little bit. Engine heats up, it'll expand some. And so I'm thinking I might need sorry about that. Right in the middle of talking, the camera decides it needed a battery. But like I was saying, when the engine heats up, it gets a little wider, and it's going to do a little bit of expanding there. I don't know if it's necessary to get that other type of boot. I'm going to look into it. Like I said, I'll be running the ones I had first. They seem to run pretty good. The other ones seem to run pretty good, but they were kind of a step down one, so there might have been a little bit of leeway there. And with the injectors here, when I was having a little bit of problem last fall, I put back in I think they were 35-pound injectors. I'm going to probably swap those out as soon as I get some new O-rings for them. I'll put I think they were 55s back in, 55-pounders. Because in the future, probably going to try to run some E85. I may need to even get bigger injectors yet. But, you know, we'll play as we go. So like I said, we're going to grind the center of these out. Then I'll put everything together and probably pressurize the system, see if they leak at all. So, stay tuned. Alright, give you guys a look here. Got the one intake manifold done. The one on the right is all hogged out. The one on the left is one I got to do. But this is just kind of an example of how much more volume of air I should be able to flow through here with these. So let's proceed to grind on the other one. Well, there we go, guys. Got them all ported out. Next step's going to be to give them a good washing, a good bath, and then get some gaskets prepared. But I think this is about as far as we're going to go today. We'll save the gasket making thing for another whole episode. So stay tuned and keep the flat side down and the shiny side up. Take care.